Man, it's one thing to be queer friendly, it's another thing to be explicitly queer. And this is an explicitly queer bar. We have plenty of we have other queer owned businesses, but to have one that's like, no, we're queer like through and through, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are queer, and you don't have to feel comfortable here if you don't want to, but you can. Like you don't have to be queer to be here, but you probably are. Like if you're here, you probably are.
I knew one of the guys who had owned it. He's owned it this entire time. He opened it in 2019. He wanted it to be like this beer bar, which is great. There's people like that. But I knew that he wasn't going to reopen after the pandemic. A lot of his co-owners previously moved away or moved back home. And he was like, yeah, I don't really want to reopen. I've never anticipated him running it himself. So he didn't have anybody to run it. And I was like, well, I would, but I would want to do something different. There was this place called Divas back in the day that I would go to, and that's kind of what I wanted this to be. I was like, I want to paint the whole bar pink. I want to do all women cocktails. I want it to be super femme, disco, like that kind of thing. And he was just like, okay. I was like, are you serious? Okay, cool. And I just ran with it and had a vision and stuck to it. And yeah, and now it's just blossoming into this beautiful business.
When I was 18, 19, there was a place called Divas, and that was the it spot. I found myself there. I was like I knew I was gay, but I didn't know I was gay. It's really important that we have spaces that younger queer people can go and say like, oh, there's a future for me. Like, I don't just have to live on the internet, like in the real world, like IRL, I have a space I can come to and like truly just relax and be myself.
When I was like younger, Northampton was like so cool to young little gay me because I'm like, oh my god, everyone's gay here. Everyone's gay. Nah, it's not as what's the word? Progressive as people think. And really not that queer friendly. Just what was it? Last June, I think June 1st, there was a group of guys yelling like a bunch of homophobic slurs and transphobic slurs and racist slurs to me and my friend, literally right next to Local Burger. So I feel like Northampton as a whole, it might not just be Northampton, it might be the people who come here, like tourists, but either way, I think it's really important because people come here can be unapologetically queer. They don't have to like worry about getting hurt here because I make sure that won't happen. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's a really good environment. And you don't have to be gay to be here. You can be straight too. I let in straight people. We are very inclusive here.
I mean, Divas closed in 2016. I can't believe that Northampton, being, I think it's like called the lesbian capital of the world, had no queer space, no explicitly queer places. It's super important. It's just kind of like seeing yourself on the TV screen, like people that look like you, and it's just making you feel support and having a sense of community, which is super important. And that's something that I've been building here and focused on for so long, is building community and making sure that people feel seen and heard and have support, because I know how important that is to me, and I can only imagine how important it is for young queer people to see other queer people, especially older queer people, that kind of have paved the way for people. And it's really nice for me to see all these connections being made, because I'm like, yes, like this feels like how it should be, and everybody just loving each other and making friends. People come to this bar alone and meet people, and like I would never do that when I was 21. I had to go with friends. I was always so worried. So having a space, especially in Northampton, where people feel safe enough to come in by themselves and make friends is just, it's so rewarding for me. Like, it's not all about me, but it just feels so good.
The vibe that's here and the culture that's here is here to stay.